Hey y'all, so I'm back again. Moment of Truth video series, video number 2. It's part 2 of actually how opposition prepares you for a new position. However, this is how to turn tragedies into triumphs. Okay. I'm gonna share something here. Some people may know it, some people may not, but it's 2022. So about close to 6 years ago, I lost my mother in her fight against cancer. And that was actually a very, very pivotal moment in my life where that tragedy just came and slapped me in the face. The hardest part about it for me was that I didn't know she was going to die. And I actually have some issues even today. Sometimes it was hit me so hard that sometimes my emotional state gets mixed up. Like I don't seem like I have emotions at times, but but I do have emotions. I feel it. That was one of the most difficult times of my life. I mean, I've been fired. I had all these other things happen, but me losing my mother, that was the one thing I was afraid of the most. I remember as a kid, I would sit up at night wondering and hoping nothing would happen to her, but then it did, and the hardest part for me was that I believe it was like I felt betrayed. I didn't know what was going on. And tell me, like how do you hide something like that from your kid? Because you assume that they can't take it. But anyway, that's an example of a tragedy for me. Just not knowing that she was going to go, and that she's not here to share my life with me now. And a lot of good things are happening, and I wonder what would happen if she was around. But anyway, the thing I did to get me through that, and I continue to do today, is number one, I lean on friends, right? When I need that. And family too. Like I'll reach out to my family, I'll text them if I'm feeling a certain type of way. We found a way to bond with each other, and we sometimes feel the same things at the same time. Second thing I did was I actually wrote letters to my mother for 252 days straight. Every day I wrote something. In my deepest, darkest moments, I wrote something. I don't care if it was a sentence or if it was a paragraph or 3 pages, I wrote something, because you can't keep that stuff inside of you. You keep it inside of you, you're gonna go further down the tragedy hole. Third thing I did was go back to what it was that I knew how to do. I went back to work. I didn't sit around. Some people need to sit around and process things. I have to keep on moving. Fourth thing I did was I continued my therapy. I didn't let up on that. And what I did, as I'm going through all these things, I'm not past it so much. I'm just able to deal. So some ways that I dealt with this particular tragedy, I've had several. I have different methods for all these other things, but that's what I did for this one. And it's a real significant one for me because, like I said at the beginning, me losing my mother was the worst thing that could happen to me. By far, anything. Because I would have said, you know what, take my arms, take my legs, or something like that. But took my mother. That was it. And at that moment, any thing that I kind of had in me for a bit of time, it left. Any shields, any blocks of ego and stuff, that stuff started to fall away, started to broke down the walls for me. And now I'm at a place where I'm not afraid to be vulnerable, raw, transparent, any of that. And some would say that's a triumph, actually, to be able to be open with people, to be raw with people, to not hide your emotions. That's a triumph. To me, it is. For others, maybe not, but it's very hard to be open. It's very hard to be vulnerable. And you take a loss like that, it's like, what else could go wrong from here? It just came to mind. the biggest thing that I got from it was I'm not afraid to be hurt emotionally. That really gave me the emotional stamina and the fortitude to be able to go ahead and do what I do on a regular basis. I wasn't afraid. I'm not afraid to get hurt by, by a significant other. It is how it is. And being that I'm able to not be afraid of that, it gave me the leeway, it gave me the power to actually go and get married because I'm not afraid. You have all the greatest intentions to keep things going, but if something were to go south, I'm prepared. I'm not afraid to be hurt. And I'd say that's probably the biggest triumph out of that tragedy. So feel free to share any situations that you had that was tragic for you, that you turned to triumphs. Hopefully these tactics I gave you in this video are helpful for you. And I'm all open to have a conversation, DM me, whatever, we can talk about it. I have plenty of things in the toolbox to assist you along your way. But just to let you know, I'm not a therapist. Okay, I'm not they're here to describe you and prescribe you anything. Just a person that has gone through some things and is willing to share it out there in the world. So hopefully you have a great Thursday. All right, take those tragedies, and as hard as they may be, keep the faith and do your best to find your way to a triumph out of it, because you deserve that. We all do. All right. So later. Yeah.